Tato movie guy. Okay.
Hi everyone, welcome back and for the very first time, and I've got something quite special to review today. That is Hong Sang-soo's latest film, Introduction. He has actually been at the Berlin Film Festival in competition 2 years in a row now. His last film was The Woman Who Ran, which was one of my favourite films of 2020. And now, with Introduction, there is no Kim Min-hee in the lead. She's in the film, so that is a massive change of pace. And again, we're going back into black and white cinema with him. There is a lot to dissect here, so let's get talking. Introduction follows the story of Young Ho and his girlfriend Juwon. They are both at a crossroads in their lives. He's an aspiring actor who has a lot of friction with his father, and Juwon moves to Berlin to study fashion. As their mothers try to guide them in the next steps in their lives, they decide to take alternative routes. Introduction is poetically challenging and is a very deep insight into the clash of intergenerations of families. And this is very evident from the get-go because this is set out in 3 chapters, and in these 3 chapters we kind of get to learn a lot more about Young Ho and Juwon as they take kind of different steps in lives but are still connected to each other. And in the first segment, we come across Yu Hong and his father. His father's a doctor and he wants to meet him. They don't have a very good relationship. And this is very set out in a very non-linear way. It's very cold in Korea. There's a lot of snow. He's patiently waiting for his father to talk to him, and he's been there for a while. And what you sense straight away from Young Ho is that he yearns to be loved, because in the whole process of this film, he hugs everybody else except for his parents. And he's searching for a longing and a connection that he just doesn't have with them. And this may be to the fact that he is an aspiring actor and potentially not really following the conventions of maybe what his father has. We don't really know. But this tension is built, and then we see him smoking quite a lot. And this kind of ensues the stress that he has potentially with both sets of parents. It really is very sombering in that way. But Juwon also has these issues, as in the first segment they're together. In the next segment she moves to Berlin. In Berlin, her mother follows her there as she settles down and moves in with Kim Min-hee. And Kim Min-hee is a bit younger than her mother, so there is a bit more of a natural connection that they have together. But her mother is overbearing and really doesn't like the idea of Young Ho. And because of this, I think Juwon is even more connected to Young Ho. And I think this is the thing, we always go against our parents. It doesn't matter in which formulaic way it happens, we all have this rebellious side that we have. And this friction is always sensed in a very tight framing that Sang-soo always has. The deep zooms that we get from him, like I mentioned, it's very cold. Each scene is in midwinter. We go from the beach, we go to Berlin, which is freaking freezing by the look of it. And this cold sense of connection is very prevalent to what they have with their parents. I think what further elevates this frustrations that they have with their parents is that traditional sense of respecting their elders. And I think in South Korea there is a massive sense of this. You must kind of obey and listen to what they have to say. And this kind of traditionality kind of disappears also because there's a big discussion about how formal language is talked with older people. But once we see Juwon talk to Kim Min-hee, she's like, you don't need to speak in formal Korean with me. And this kind of, again, shows this traditional change that is ever moving with the world. Traditions are evolving and potentially becoming something a lot more different. But what I think was the kind of catalytic moment in this film is that once we get to a dinner scene, there's a dinner scene at the back end of this film with Ki Ju-bong, who has been in a lot of Sang-soo films. He basically gives Young Ho advice about acting and art and the differentiation between lust, artistry, and love. And he erupts. And I haven't seen an explosive dinner scene like this since On the Beach at Night Alone from Sang-soo. It really erupted. There is a very heavy zoom on Ki Ju-bong's face, which was very stressful. And it was a scene that really just broke Young Ho. Young Ho at this point knew that only he can decide what he does with his life. And I found this to be very striking. It's very subtle, as most Sang-soo films are. You have to really peel away the layers to understand a bit more of it. And this is the thing about Sang-soo, the human connection is something that unifies all of us. We may all speak different languages, but we can all relate to the experiences that we've gone through in some shape or form. And I think that's the deep resonance I had with this film, is that just kind of idea of not really knowing what I want, but at the same time, are the opinions of other people important to us? It really just changes it quite a bit. And I have to say that Shin Seok-ho and Park Mi-seo are very good at helming this film. Shin Seok-ho has been in quite a few Sang-soo films recently, but this was Park Mi-seo's first film with Sang-soo. I really enjoyed their performances because there's a lot of physicality in it, and you can sense the frustrations through this physicality. And it really helped elevate the film a lot more. It's very beautiful to look at, even though it's in black and white. I don't think it's one of his best black and white films, but it's another solid entry into the Sang-soo oeuvre. And that, for me, is all I really want, is this consistency, because this kind of translucent, very non-linear ideas that he has are what make me want to see his films straight away every time. And I really do hope that you'll be able to see this at some point this year. From my understanding, it will be playing in South Korea within the next quarter of the year, so between March and I think April, May time it should be out there. So hopefully it will start staggering through and maybe playing in other festivals. So that was my review of Hong Sang-soo's Introduction. If you have seen it and been lucky enough to see it at Berlinale, let me know what you thought of it in the comment section below. If you haven't, tell me what your favourite black and white Hong Sang-soo film is, because I'm always fascinated to know what you guys think. My next review will be another South Korean film from Glasgow Film Festival, and it's called Our Midnight. It's very, very special, and I cannot wait to share that with you. And after that, there will be a What I Saw at Glasgow Film Festival, talking about all 27 of the films I've seen there. I will have then a couple of more reviews from Berlinale, along with another video of what I saw at Berlinale, because I am seeing quite a lot of films over the next course of the week. So thank you very much for the love for the Simon Lang video. I really enjoyed reading the feedback on that, and the views are very good so far. So I hope you're all doing well, and just take care of yourselves, and I will see you in a day or two. So as we normally say on this channel, Deo Tanko Obrigado Merci Beaucoup, Arigato Dankeschön, Bitteschön, all the shuns, and obviously never change, especially Hong Sang-soo. You never change, my friend.